And she's like, oh my God, it's him. It's the man from the dildo. He's real. Hello and welcome to another episode of Cheap Smut. My name is Katie Mizell.
And my name is Carl Mizell.
And this is a podcast that has weird dill breath right now. I'm really glad that you're sitting far away from me. How are you?
Me too. We're actually doing this sort of remotely. I'm in the bedroom upstairs.
No, still use.
No, we did go out for a lovely lunch today. We took advantage of the fact that I'm working from home today. The kids are in school. So we went out for a lovely lunch.
Yep.
And you had the salmon tartine.
I did. A piece of dill-crusted salmon on crunchy focaccia with like a goat cheese dill thing. It was delicious, but now my breath is weird.
It slapped.
It did slap.
Did you put the leftovers in the fridge?
Oh, shit. Did I remember to bring the leftovers home? I don't know.
I don't think that you did.
I'll figure it out in a minute.
Well, we probably should check to make sure if they're in the car, they'll probably stay cold. But anyway.
It's fine.
It was delicious. I had the buffalo tempeh sandwich.
That sandwich was really, really good.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
Yeah. My food was good, though. In the future, I will not be ordering the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That restaurant has a lot of good stuff. The People's Kitchen in Lansing.
Shout out
to the People's Kitchen in Lansing.
Yum. And a really awesome selection of food. Vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, and meat-friendly options.
Hell yeah. Go check it out.
Heck yes.
How are you doing besides having had a great lunch?
Besides being full of really good food, I'm good, man. Last few days have really just been coming up Millhouse for me. Yeah. I have had a couple of really lovely days.
Yeah.
You know? I've been making crafty things, bracelets, got more cheap smut bracelet charms, hopefully coming from Amazon today, assuming that order came through okay. And reading books and watching TV. Like, it's just been really nice. It's been nice to be me.
Yeah. And you're married to me.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yes. I am married to you, and it's been lovely. Our children have been nice. I mean, they've had colds, but nothing no illnesses recently. Yeah. Touch wood. So.
Later.
Gross.
So what do we have on the agenda for today?
Today, I read Stiff by Thea Mason. Thea Mason wrote My Date with a Rubber Duck, Rubber Ducky, which we read for the March Patreon episode, and I loved it. And as soon as I finished it, like on Kindle, as soon as you finish a book, there what to read next pops up, and this was the very next thing, and I was like, oh yeah, I should read that one. Here we are.
I know, and I can't remember if it was last week's episode that we only recorded like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So confused. But basically, I was like confused because you said, "Oh, we're going to do this book by Thea Mason." I'm like, we can't. We just read that's what it was. This past week's mainline episode. You mentioned it, and I was very confused because I forgot that you would. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm excited because I that was a very good book.
It was a really good book, and that's why I was like, this is gonna slap. I mean, I knew it was going to, because the first time I had ever heard of this book, it was being recommended by Cassie from Unfortunate Reads.
Oh, of course.
So I was like, oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be weird and wild.
Cassie of Unfortunate Reads?
Yes.
Former guest of the show.
Yes.
And creator of Monsterotica BookCon.
That's her.
May 8th through 10th in Baltimore, Maryland at the Outer Harbor Hill. I can't remember what the location is.
Yeah.
But it is May 8th through 10th, and we are going.
We are going to be there. We will be there every single day.
Yeah.
We will hopefully be recording our 100th episode while we are at the con.
Well, we are going to record
in some capacity.
Yeah. We're going to record our 100th episode while we're there. It's just a matter of whether or not we're able to get other people in on the lunacy.
Yeah, that would be fun. I would really enjoy doing that. But Cassie of Unfortunate Reads, a.k.a. Clover Holloway, who also writes books and has a book coming up with Thea Mason.
Oh, dear.
It is a temple adventure a la Indiana Jones, FMMMM, a megaverse called Welcome to Bone Town.
Stop digging. You've hit oil.
I mean, The blurb on their website is like, Omega and all her alphas fall into an underground temple during an excavation and then have to survive, and then she goes into heat because of the stress.
Yeah, and then they have to
gimme
their way out of it.
That sounds so good, but then you call it Welcome to Bone Town?
Yep, just put it.
You might as well put a bow on it for me. That's so good.
Right?
That's so good.
Just tuck me in and read it right to me and only me. That's how me it is.
So Thea Mason is a sole author of mine, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Stiff a little more, shall we? Stiff is available for $5.69, whether you buy it in ebook or print. It's a little over the cheap smut budget.
Slightly.
But $5.69. Yeah. That's funny.
It's 70 cents over our height.
Yeah.
Treat yourself a little bit.
Sue me.
No. Don't sue her. Just treat yourself. We do not need to litigate this.
Oh.
Please don't sue my wife. I have to say that.
Oh God.
In this day and age.
That's true. I'd like to think people would know better, but they don't. Anyway, let's get into the triple T's for Stiff by Thea Mason. Triggers: selfish men.
Those fuckers.
Curse magic. Revenge. Dubious consent and non-consent. Sex facts of questionable accuracy.
Oh.
Tropes. This is an FM cis heterosexual romance, inanimate object romance, witch's punishment. The porn is the plot. That dick is a guy.
Did you know that the first blowjob didn't happen until 1943? It's crazy.
There's actually a piece of information in here about blowjobs.
I hope so.
The first reference to putting genitals in mouths in any form of media is in an old Egyptian myth.
Yeah. No, it's something I've been like that I've often joked, like if I had a time machine, people be like, "Well, what would you do?" I want to go see the first time somebody put genitals in their mouth. Like the first time somebody was like, "Come here."
It was day one.
I'm gonna put that in my mouth.
It was day one.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure. Well before Australopithecus showed up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure Diplodocuses were putting dino dongs in dino mouths.
I mean, yeah.
Absolutely.
I can name you an entire series of books where that is definitely true.
As long as
Lola
there have been
Faust wrote them.
As long as there have been genitals and mouths, we have been mashing them together.
Of course we have, because we are filthy creatures. Humans, we're filthy.
I couldn't breathe. I was like, why am I not breathing? Is this how I die?
No, it's because you laughed too hard at your own David Attenborough joke.
Right.
For as long as there have been mouths and genitals, we have been mashing them together. Okay, let's finish the titillations.
Where's my OBE knighthood?
I think to do that, you have to be British, first of all.
I've seen my 23andMe. Anyway.
Titillations. Historical sex toys. Magical blowjob. A lot of semen. Parentheses, like a lot.
Oh, boy.
Use of toys, historical and modern. Mild degradation. Shall we begin?
Yes. Otherwise, I'm just going to digress all over the triple T's.
Mm-hmm.
It's a two-parter because Carl couldn't shut the fuck up during the triple T's.
In the year of our Lord, Dolly Parton, 1341.
I thought you were going to say in the beginning. All right, 1341. Go.
Our MMC, Lord Richard of Northumbria, the second Lord of Northumbria, probably in his late 20s at most. He is Caucasian, with shoulder-length wavy brown hair and a stubbled jaw. A lord, so, a man of like pretty noble status, so clean, well-appointed for the time period. Lord Richard is not a good dude. So let's just get that out of the way right now. He sucks.
Tracking.
In 1341, he leaves a feast with a woman that he has been pursuing named Lucinda. As soon as they get out of sight, he pushes her against the wall, no kisses, no foreplay, just gets his cock out and is like, let's do this thing. She's like, whoa, lick me first or something.
Literally anything.
Yeah. And he says after, like he can't wait. And he just goes for it. He uses her without any interest in her pleasure, and when he is done, he rights himself, puts his dick back, fixes his hair, and she's like, okay, it's after now.
It's later.
And he tells her that she shouldn't believe everything a nobleman tells her, whether it be a promise of cunnilingus or a promise of marriage.
This isn't going to go well for you, Richard.
Yeah. He dismisses her and he's like, if I want more later, I'll come and find you. Goodbye. And then he turns and starts walking away. But suddenly he is bound in place, unable to move. And her voice is booming from behind him with this new crackling energy that frightens him. She curses him to become a tool for women's pleasure, to give but to never receive pleasure, to drown in the arousal that he refused to taste. He tries to shout that a witch has infiltrated, but he can't because his body goes rigid, his skin gets taut, and then there's a sensation of him being like pulled together very tightly or smushed. Then there's a flash of light, and suddenly Lucinda is standing above him, like 10 times his size. She reaches down, picks him up, carries him to a polished glass in the corner, and shows him she has turned him into a polished ivory cock. He's a dildo.
And not even a big one.
He's his own dick, apparently. He's exactly his own dick. But she holds him up and she says, women are going to use you, and you are never going to feel pleasure again until someone puts you in their mouth. And he's like, oh no, that's not even where they go. Nobody's ever gonna do that. Okay,
God, I hope someone gets curious.
First of all, I'm pretty sure that that's not true. A lot of dildos have gone in a lot of mouths.
I've been around.
But I'll suspend my disbelief and say that nobody ever lubed their dildo up with spit. Okay,
probably not.
Sure. So she then uses him as a dildo. Like, okay, to fuck herself to completion. It feels amazing for him. He's literally just an erection now. It feels amazing all of the time. But no matter how good it feels, he can never reach completion or satisfaction of any kind. Mm-hmm. This is his fate. When she's done with him, she wipes him on her skirts, she shoves him into her bustier, and she walks away. Approximately 700 years later, our FMC, Felicity Stiff, is an author of historical nonfiction. Mm-hmm. We meet her in a private study room in her library where she is pulling out her hair, staring at her notes, trying to figure out how to start this chapter. She's just stuck right now working on a book about sex toys throughout history, and she's stuck in the Renaissance. She just can't get it going. She can't figure it out.
It's where sex history traditionally bogs down in the Renaissance.
She's trying to get into the flow, but she simply can't. Pause to say, interspersed between each chapter of this book is a really fascinating piece of historical information about sex acts or sex toys. Mm-hmm. All of these paragraphs are credited as belonging to the research of Felicity Stiff. But at the front of the book, Thea wrote, I did some Googling. I'm not an expert, which is why one of my triggers was questionable accuracy. Yeah. They're all fascinating. And because I'm like a weird sex nerd, I love learning about sex like as a concept. I loved all of them. I was very excited to learn, like, you know, the first instance of a blowjob in mythology was in ancient Egypt.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
No, not at all. So Felicity takes a call from her agent, who hates to put the pressure on her, but there is a big museum of sex opening in New York next month, and the publishers want to capitalize on the media splash of that museum by coordinating her release at the same time. But that means that they're pushing up her publication date to 4 weeks from now. And she's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm completely stuck, writer's block wise. Like, I can't do this. What do I do? And Regina, who is her agent, asks if she has considered her idea to, help her feel it. And Felicity says, well, isn't that idea kind of gimmicky? And Regina says, exactly. Gimmicky sells books. First-hand accounts sell books. Give me gimmicky. She says, I already made the order. It will be arriving at Felicity's house soon. To spice up her book, Felicity will be using historically accurate sex toys and reporting back. The next scene we have, Felicity is like necking vodka sodas and trying to psych herself up because the toys have arrived. So she has, I got some pictures because this was fantastic. So she has a replica 1800 hand crank massaging gun.
Whoa. No, thank you.
Yep.
It looks more gun than massaging.
Right. She also has an imitation 1900s electric hand massager. Looks kind of like a hairdryer. We've all seen that one. So she called this a Chattanooga. And I don't want to be a sex toy pedant.
You're gonna.
This is not. I am going to. This is not a Chattanooga. A Chattanooga, don't ask me why I know this, is a very large device that could only be used in doctors' offices.
That's a portable Chattanooga.
It looks like a weird first-gen fuckbot or something. Cost a fortune back then, and they were only in doctors' offices. This is, I suppose, what someone might call a Chattanooga if that was what the nickname was for a vibrator that you used at home.
It looks more like a Theragun.
It does. It's exactly what a Theragun is now. That's the original design. There was a period of health fad where vibration was considered the cure for everything. This thing, you could use it to get off, and people did, but it came with all these attachments because this one was for your head, this one was for your scalp, this one was for your shoulders, it was supposed to like drain your lymphatic system, make you healthier, make you glow.
Yeah, it's not the worst idea. I mean, if nothing else, it stimulates blood flow, which could help.
Yeah, it does.
But anyway, and
then she has an authentic ivory dildo from the Renaissance period. Yes. I don't have a picture of an authentic ivory dildo for Carl to see, but
that's okay. I've got a vivid imagination.
Yeah. So she's a couple drinks in. She's still too nervous to try any of these devices, but she has other ideas to get her engine revving. And her next idea is to read a book that her sister has recommended. It's monster smut. Nice. So this is apparently an FMM monster smut, and she's 2 sex scenes in when she's finally hot and bothered enough that she needs more stimulation. She thinks she should probably do the dildo first because it's the Renaissance one, and that's where she's stuck. And also it's like the easiest to like
to wrap anything around.
But she doesn't necessarily want to put cold, hard ivory in her vagina. So she thinks, okay, the scene that I'm really into right now in this book is a blowjob sequence. What if I kneel here? I can play with myself and imagine that I'm sucking this dick. Sure, whatever gets you off, my girl. She starts doing that. She gets really into it, and she starts to dismiss the first signs that something is not right. When suddenly she doesn't need to hold the dildo in place anymore, but she thinks, it must be wedged into the couch cushions or something. And then she can kind of smell that musky smell, that blowjob smell for anyone who's given a blowjob.
I thought you were going to say of an unwashed nobleman.
No.
Who's been trapped in an ivory dildo for 700 years.
No, just blowjob smell, pelvis smell. Yeah. And she just attributes that to like a good imagination. But then there's a hand on the back of her head, and then her mouth is full of fluid, like full. And she is spitting it out, standing up, whipping her robe on, like, what the fuck is going on? There's a naked man on her couch. Hallucination? She hopes that she's having a hallucination, but he says that she's not. She starts looking around for the dildo. She's really confused.
That's exactly what a hallucination would say.
Right?
Trust me, I'm not a hallucination. Sorry.
She starts looking around for this dildo. I mean, for no other reason than this is like a historical item. It probably costs money. Did this guy steal it? What the fuck is going on? And then she looks down in his lap and she realizes that his dick looks exactly like that dildo did. That is the dildo. This can't be right. She doesn't know what to do with this information. It cannot possibly be right. Also,
me neither.
Yeah. Also,
or Felicity?
Felicity. Yeah. There's no denying what is directly in front of her eyeballs at this moment. He pretty immediately is like, get over here and fuck me. And she's like, no. What? No. He's like, you were gonna a second ago. She's like, you were a dildo a second ago.
A second ago, you weren't a man.
What the fuck, dude? No. You're not even real. You're not even here. To prove that he is real, he takes his hand and he puts it on his cock. See? Or he takes her hand and he puts it on his cock. He says, see, it's solid. It's real flesh. Now be a good girl and jerk me off. He says he wants to thank her for freeing him from his prison by covering her in centuries of blue-balled cum. And she's like, that is what you think a thank you is?
What are you, from the year 1341?
That's... okay. And then the room is filling up with smoke and there is a loud popping noise that bursts through the air. And Lucinda the witch is standing in Felicity's living room as well. And she looks exactly as she did, not that she knows, but Richard knows, that she looks exactly as she did 700 years ago. Gorgeous, perfect, powerful, and really pissed off that Richard managed to get out. Like, she's just like squinting at him and staring him down.
You shouldn't have given him an out.
Right? So she asks him a couple of questions, and she figures very quickly that Richard has not learned the lesson that she dildo-fied him to learn. So she considers what she should turn him into now, since he still needs to learn more lesson. He's a pig, so maybe we should just turn him into a pig this time. But Felicity has some like reservations about continuing the eternal torture of this person. And so she decides she's going to offer Lucinda a deal.
Okay.
They negotiate a couple of things, and what they come up with is this. Felicity will serve as a test, essentially, to make sure Richard really has learned his lesson. Richard will stay here with Felicity and get to know her well enough to answer any question that Lucinda has when she comes back. If they have any kind of carnal time, it will be on Felicity's terms because Felicity wants it, and Richard will ensure that Felicity always finishes before he does. He needs to learn about reciprocity. He needs to learn that his partners are people. So don't turn him into a pig. Give him a chance, right?
And then turn him into a pig.
And then turn him into a pig if he still fucks up.
Yeah. All right. Fair.
Yeah. Lucinda agrees. And she says if she is satisfied when she comes back, she will give Richard a second chance at a normal life. When is she coming back? She's a witch. She's fucking mysterious like that.
She clearly comes and goes as she pleases.
So Lucinda gives Felicity a credit card so she doesn't have to be burdened with the financial responsibility of taking care of Richard, who has literally nothing.
Yeah, no, he's useless.
Then she leaves. And Felicity's like, what the fuck did I just do? That man was a dildo for 700 years and now he's on my couch.
Now he's a dick.
And now I have to fuck him. Like this, it all hits her really hard, really fast, and she's left stunned.
Pre-nut clarity.
And now we are going to take a pause for our new segment, The Weekly Spotlight, wherein I will highlight a book written by a friend or fan and give you an opportunity to decide if you want to read it for yourself. This week, what happens when a soothsayer catches a witch lying about her dice rolls during D&D? Obviously, he becomes a serial killer. Disadvantaged follows Catherine, a witch in a bad relationship with a toxic boyfriend, and Cole, a soothsayer who has been using medicine to suppress his vision since he was a boy. However, the visions can only be held back for so long before they come bursting through, leading him to murder, as well as making a strong-willed witch pay penance for lying about her dice rolls in the most unique ways. And don't forget about the ghosts, gators, and gods. Oh my. Dice, Spice, and Everything Nice is to be had in Disadvantage by S.A. Bird. Guilty, but not sorry.
All right. Excellent. We will put a link to that in the show notes, and this is literally the first time that we ever did this, so we're going to kind of figure it out. I don't know if I have to tell Spotify that that's ad content, because it's not really ad.
It's not. We didn't get paid for it.
No. It's not ads. We're just trying to help people out.
Yeah.
We just want more people to read these books.
Exactly. So from now on, hopefully I will have a new spotlight every single week so that we can get more eyes on more books, because that's the whole point of this show. Hells yeah.
And also it's a great way to talk about books that we just cannot cover.
Yes.
Because they're too unwieldy, too long.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just simply not the kind of content that we cover on this show for any particular reason.
Yeah. But it might be up your alley. So worst case scenario, click on the link, go check it out. If you sounds cool, read it. If not, move on.
Move on. Exactly.
Just like we're about to do with this episode.
We're going to move right back to our story. As soon as Lucinda is gone, Richard is on Felicity like a dog on a bone. Like, he won't cover up his nudity. He's laying on the seduction really thick. But it's slower and with more intention this time. They talk as this happens. Like, they're having a conversation as he is sliding his hands up her thighs and petting the sensitive place behind her knee, and like he sneaks a finger under her hemline just to tease her a little bit. She's excited to learn that he is an actual historical figure. He's 700 years old. He is going to be fantastic for her book. He's a primary resource, man.
You don't get a lot of opportunities for that.
He tells her he will answer any question that she has, and she says after. So as uncertain as she is in this whole situation, like, her body is still worked up from before the whole that dick is a guy thing happened. So she's still really horny, and he's attentive and seductive and intriguing, and he's offering to help her with her research, which is also important to her. So to help her with her research, he works her pussy with the hand crank vibrator.
He's like, oh, don't worry. I know what this is.
Yes.
I've seen this.
Yeah.
This is the most advanced technology.
There are several times throughout the book where he's like, I had an owner who had one of these in the appropriate time period. I know how it works. And I'm like, yes, this is so cool.
It has a hidden function.
History nerd sex shit. I love it. So yeah, he uses that hand crank vibrator on her until it's just not enough anymore. He focuses his mouth on the rest of her body until she pushes the vibrator away and says that she needs more, and he switches to a manual technique that he learned from the woman who owned him and liked to touch herself but only look at him. So he learned a lot of manual techniques just watching her work.
Okay.
Nice. We like a man who just learns on the job, no matter what the job is.
Yeah.
So he fingers Felicity to an orgasm, but she is so quiet that when she like spasms up, he can't really be sure that she came.
One of those people that just like...
Yeah, exactly. She's super, super quiet. It's a whole thing for her.
Just a super quiet thing, and then afterwards she's like, that was the best.
Serious. That's how it is with her.
I know, like, okay, I'll take your word for it.
So once he gets like verbal confirmation that she has had an orgasm, he's fucking her.
Yeah.
This is the rule now. She had an orgasm. Now he can have an orgasm. It is rough. It is ragged. The first time that he has actually fucked someone proper in 700 years. And Felicity enjoys it. But again, she's like very much in her own head about this. So she stays silent the whole time because she is too anxious to make noise. She's worried that her partner will not receive noise well.
Yeah, because you don't know what it was like fucking 700 years ago, like what the standards and practices were.
I think this is a standard for her at all times.
Gotcha.
And I completely understand that. I have some similar mental blocks when it comes to like taking up space. Mm-hmm. So she can't take up space in the bedroom. I understand that. That's hard for her. Poor thing. So anyway, she gets close to having a second orgasm, but she can't get there before Richard is coming. And he's screaming like, finally, it's been 700 years. So much cum happens with this.
Well, yeah.
The 700 years of backup is apparently coming out of him. I don't know how that works. Fuck. Ugh. Anyway, I am heebed and jeebed by the whole thing, but Felicity is left feeling a little unsatisfied, but she doesn't want to complain about it to the guy who hasn't come for 700 years. So she gets up to go clean up, but Richard is like, no, we are not done. Where are you going? She says that they should eat something. He says he is going to eat something. She argues that it will probably take a really long time for her to have another orgasm. And he says, yeah, I've been a dildo for 700 years.
I've waited.
It'll take. Okay, I've got the time.
Yeah, don't worry.
I've got the time.
I'm patient.
Mm-hmm. Ultimately, Felicity says no to his offer because she's not comfortable with the fact that this deal that she made with Lucinda is starting to feel very transactional under the light of day. She thinks Richard is only pursuing her pleasure in pursuit of his own pleasure. So it's not really for her at all, and that makes her uncomfortable. She tells Richard that she thinks that ultimately any decision that he is making here will be selfish, and he agrees. He says, I am a very selfish man, but you misunderstand where the selfishness is coming from. I haven't been able to touch or taste or really feel or grind or do all the carnal things for 700 years, and now I'm going to do them all to you. Like, this is not about me wanting to have an orgasm. This is about me wanting to get my mouth on your body because I haven't been able to do this shit for so fucking long. Come here. He presses her into a wall then and starts kissing her and like nibbling up and down her neck while she grinds on his thigh to another orgasm. And then he hauls her over his shoulder and carries her to the kitchen where he sits her on the counter so he can then eat her out. She pushes him away, saying he doesn't have to do that. But again, he doesn't have to. He wants to. And he is finding a lot of pride in giving his partner pleasure. Like, he's figuring it out, guys. He's learning. And now he wants to keep going.
He can be taught.
Exactly. He thinks that maybe she has just as much of a problem receiving as he has giving. So he's going to help them both out. He eats her out like he's never done it before. But he maybe hasn't. I don't know if he ever did before this.
At least he hasn't in a while.
Yeah. But his years of being used for a woman's pleasure have taught him very well. So again, she is silent the entire time, but he tries everything he can to get her to make a sound, and the only thing that he gets is a tiny little gasp when she climaxes, just like a tiny little gasp. And he resolves that he is going to get her to make like all of the filthiest animal noises that he can over time, if he can stay with her. So this cunnilingus is extreme growth. Yeah, for Richard.
Seriously.
Like, he feels the urge to fuck her multiple times during this. He knows that he is an orgasm ahead according to Lucinda's rules, so he could get away with it, but he wants to see Felicity come more than he wants his own pleasure. Growth. Real growth. So once she does have her final orgasm, she's done, son. He flips her over onto her stomach so that she can use the table to basically hold herself up while he fucks her from behind. He tries a few different dirty talk techniques until he finds the one that she likes the best.
Like you're twisting the antenna on old TV,
exactly.
Just trying to get the signal in.
Yep. Testing out different like voices on your sat nav until you find the one you like.
For a more modern example. You old fucker.
You old fart. And then when she says that he cannot get another orgasm out of her, like she just doesn't think she has any more to give, he proves her wrong before finally then finishing himself. At that point, she is no longer functional, so he checks in and makes sure she's not hurt or anything before helping her get cleaned up and then getting her into bed. Out in the living room, he stumbles on her research. All her notes are laid out on the kitchen table or something.
She doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
I was there.
It's like, when he offered to help her with her research, in that moment, it was mostly a euphemism about using sex toys on her. But he actually does know a lot of the stuff that she has question marked next to on her post-it notes.
How convenient.
And he decides that he is going to help her out as much as he can. There's also a running bit for the rest of the book between them where he calls their genitals various very old-timey nicknames for genitals. And it's so fucking funny because you know how much I hate like weird names for dicks.
Yeah.
Like that's a weird thing to call your vagina. Don't call it that. It's really funny when they're names from like 150 years ago.
Come grasp my dowsing rod.
At one point he said he was going to put his pin in her purse. My favorite was when he said he was going to put his Jasper in her nani nani. That's so fucking funny.
And a hey ho ho.
And a nani nani no. Yeah. So fucking good. So anyway, so he spends some time going over her notes, answering things, writing things down.
He said, where's a red pen? Quick.
And then he at some point passes out on her couch. The next morning, she wakes up and she has convinced herself that was some kind of hallucination. Maybe she drank more than she thought or something. Like maybe it was a dream. She feels all sore and like she got fucked a bunch. But in her head, the only thing that makes sense is she drank more vodka sodas than she realized, and she used all those old timey devices and they just beat her the fuck up.
She just used them raw.
Yeah. She's like, an ivory dildo probably hurt your insides. That's actually not true, I don't think. But, you know, it's the excuse that her brain can come up with, because her dildo definitely didn't turn into a man, and she definitely didn't make a bargain with a witch last night.
Say anything will hurt your insides if you put it inside you and then bang it around a lot.
I mean, yeah, for sure. She convinces herself of all of this right up until the point that she stumbles on the naked man asleep on her couch, covered in post-it notes.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
He's there to disabuse me of this notion.
And she's like, oh my God, it's him. It's the man from the dildo. He's real. And she takes a moment to just sort of look at him, take physical stock of him. That's when we get most of the description of what he actually looks like. For most of this, he was just a dildo in my head until he finally got character description like 60% of the way in. When he wakes up, the pushing up continues immediately with a request for assistance with his morning wood.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I am far too sore for that. And he's like, your mouth's not sore.
Did you relate at all to Felicity?
Many times.
Yeah.
So he asks for a blowjob. He makes a joke about her being like ahead in orgasms right now, so it won't break Lucinda's rules, and that pulls her up short. It brings her back to that feeling of like being very transactional and pragmatic and detached. The feeling of the night before, the passion, it's gone now. Whatever interest she had, it is now ruined. She tells him no. She's a little concerned to tell him no, actually. Like, I am alone in my apartment with this man and I'm about to tell him no. But he takes it as well as can be expected.
As well as a guy who's been trapped in a dildo for 700 years can.
Yeah. So she tells him no, and he sort of like stops for a second, pinches his eyebrows, is like, okay. And then she goes to the kitchen to make coffee to just get away from the tension of this whole situation. This part that had a very funny little joke. Do you want coffee? I don't know. I've never had it. Because they definitely did not have coffee in 1341 in Europe.
Yeah. Yes. What is it?
Yeah. They didn't even have tea at that point. Anyway, so she goes to the kitchen and he starts jacking off. No. There's no rule against jacking off. So he starts jacking off, and then he like looks over the couch upside down at her. So to like involve her in this process, he's dirty talking and like trying to get her to succumb to his seductions or whatever. That never happens, but she does become fascinated by the lewdness of the act. She watches him. It's really hot to watch him for her. And when he does come, he's like pinned her against the counter all up in her business, and he like comes all over the front of her robe and marks her basically, and she's like, oh my God, she really wants to like rub herself against him, but no, she will not give him the satisfaction of that in this moment. Once the tension of all of that has dissipated some, they start their day. They sit down on the couch together and they do some online shopping to get Richard some fucking clothes. Like, he will not wear clothes. Even when she hands him a blanket, he always drapes it around his shoulders instead of putting it over his lap. His dick's just been out for hundreds of years. She has offered him the largest sweats and t-shirt that she has, but they're still a little too small and he just refuses to wear them. So now she's like, God, just buy some fucking clothes. Lucinda gave them this credit card. While they are on the couch, they talk as they shop. They talk about clothes, like what kind of clothes she likes to wear. He has no idea what he likes to wear.
What kind of interest rate you think they got on that credit card that she just manifested?
Oh, I don't know. Probably 0 because she's a fucking witch.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just the first thing you see. First thing you said when she manifested a credit card, I'm like, you better check the interest rate on that.
Magic credit card. Well, she's not the one paying for it, so it doesn't matter.
Still though.
Yeah.
Such a dad.
You really are. You wore your New Balances to lunch today.
I did.
And they were nice.
They are.
They are very nice shoes, honey. I'm glad that you found your first pair of dad shoes.
Yeah, my last pair of cleats were New Balance too.
Yeah.
Yeah, still got them.
Mm-hmm. They were blue.
Just in case. You never know.
So anyway, Richard and Felicity, they talk about clothes. They talk about what Felicity likes to wear, her style. They talk about what she thinks he would look nice in. Because, again, he has no frame of reference for any of this.
He's like, you.
Yeah. Back in his day, they were still, like, dyeing things with piss. So he has no idea what a microfiber is. No. That conversation then moves on to talking about her career, her goals, her interests. Then they talk about his curse and how it affected him. This is a really lovely and intimate scene, but, like, it is our first real understanding of how emotionally difficult that curse was for Richard. He was used without his consent for 700 years. It was as punishment, but it's also non-consensual. Like, it's really fucked up dynamic, and it left him a little scarred. He doesn't, when Lucinda comes back, he's terrified he's going to get turned back into a dildo.
Yeah.
He can't do this again, you know?
Think about the traumas that you've experienced in your life and how they've compounded over time, and then experience it for 700 years.
Seriously, I'm surprised he didn't fucking crack or something. But anyway, at some point he tries to get frisky again, but she's like, no, buy clothes, go, and goes to take a shower instead. As soon as she leaves, he rushes to her bedroom to check her sizes so that he can buy her some clothes too, because he wants to buy her a present to thank her for rescuing him. And he's like really giddy and excited because he got to buy her a present. He's really excited to give her that present. The next day is when the clothes arrive, and that's when they will have their date. They're supposed to go out on a date as well. That's one of the things Lucinda has demanded that they do. After her shower, he tries to seduce her again. Do you see a pattern here? But her agent calls again to check in on her and see how her chapters are going, and she gets diverted back to writing in order to meet those deadlines. She leaves Richard. She's like, clean this all up. Put it back the way you found it. Like, there is a system here, all her Post-it notes. And I'm going to go right over there, and you're going to stay over here with the dick game away so that I can get some work done. The next day, their clothes arrive, and we get to see him clothed for the first time. He listened to her feedback about clothes and what she thought he would look good in. So now he's all like hot professor in a tan sweater with elbow patches. And she's like, oh my God. She made her very own like academia dreamboat for herself because he had no frame of reference for what he may like to wear.
Yeah.
Dress your own Ken doll.
But for real.
But 700-year-old dildo man. So he presents her with the clothes that he picked out for her. Everything is in the right size, and everything is an item that she would have bought for herself. He listened. He really listened. Look at him. He's doing a good job.
I took feedback.
Felicity is facility.
That's why I didn't catch it in the autocorrect.
Felicity is distrustful of this gift. Like, she thinks it's one of these, like, I got it to prove to the witch that I had changed, but I haven't actually changed kind of things. And he's like, I got them for you because you deserve nice things. Do you remember how we talked about how you need to be better about receiving? You have trust issues, sweetheart. Thea, please stop putting therapy in my porn. I would really appreciate it if you didn't do that. Or if you do, start taking my insurance.
That or just stop making it extremely relevant to Katie.
Seriously. So he tells her that he got her these things because he wanted to get her something nice. However, he did also get her these things specifically hoping that maybe he could take them off her later. And then he presents her with some really lovely lingerie that he also got. That kind of helps her balance things out in her head. Like, oh, he can be nice and also horny at the same time. Not everyone is singularly motivated. Okay, so both of our MCs are learning. This is so nice for us, right? She goes to change into one of the lingerie pieces that he bought for her, but he stops her and he pulls her back, declaring that, you know what? They have never kissed. And that's true. They haven't. Mm-hmm. They've had so much sex, but they've never kissed. Okay, let's rectify that situation. So the kiss is excellent. But imagine if they had all of that fire sex for like a day and a half and then their first kiss sucked. Like it's just all like tongue and kind of wet and cold and there's no chemistry.
How do you fuck this good and kiss so bad?
Right? Like imagine. That would be, I want that. I want that in somebody's surrealist erotica police. So this pretty quickly leads to them going to the bedroom. She never gets the lingerie on. There's no chance to take it off of her, but that's fine. He has also bought some modern vibrators and a butt plug.
Can you believe how quiet these things are?
Right. So he is here to play. She says that she is a novice when it comes to modern sex toys. She's never really used any of them. And he's like, oh, yay,
he's
something
like,
I can introduce you to. This is so great.
Me too.
Well, I mean, he's been in use for 700 years, so I'm guessing he's gotten to know a lot of vibrators in his life.
Well, this is sort of like a family reunion for him.
Seriously. Is this like Toy Story? Are they all alive?
Right.
So he introduces her to a whole new world of modern sex toys. And when all is said and done, Felicity has a plug in her ass, a vibrator in her pussy, and a cock in her mouth. Richard is working the vibrator inside of her while fighting to stand upright against the vibrator he has in his own ass. We are equal opportunity trying to short circuit our brains here, apparently, and they have an absolutely fantastic time.
It's not how you complete a circuit, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah, well, that's why they're shorting it, right? 2 weeks later.
They're still fucking.
2 weeks later. Richard is going a little crazy because Lucinda hasn't come back yet. The longer he stays here with Felicity, the more he wants to stay here with Felicity forever, and the more terrified of Lucinda's return he becomes, because if he fucks it up, he's going to have to leave Felicity and go back to a lifetime of torture. And so he is like constantly quizzing her, asking her questions so that he gets every little piece of information, anything that Lucinda could possibly ask him.
Quick, how many days of school did you miss in 3rd grade?
I think they talk about like favorite memory. Yeah. Best and worst memories. The best memory, the previous scene with all the vibrators and stuff.
I mean, that's a little recency bias talking, but still.
Worst memory, her master's graduation where her boyfriend kissed another girl in front of her and then broke up with her. Damn, that fucking sucks. She then quizzes him on some random facts just to kind of keep him distracted because he's starting to pace the apartment like a tiger in a cage.
Yeah, circle his enclosure.
And then things get sexy again. Another proper way to distract this poor man, apparently. And she takes off her clothes to reveal that she is wearing that lingerie that she never got a chance to put on 2 scenes ago. Nice. And he's like, yes, you look amazing. And then Lucinda's there. Boner killer. Fuck. It is time for the quiz. She will ask a single question. His answer will determine his fate.
No pressure.
That question is, what is Felicity's middle name? And in all of the shit that they have gone through to make sure that he knows every single fucking thing about her from the moment that she was born, nobody thought to tell him her middle fucking name.
I memorized
Nobody knows.
I memorized her social security. I learned what social security was. And then I memorized the number.
He's got the the first 1,000 markers of her DNA sequence memorized, but he doesn't know her middle name, apparently. So he guesses it's not Anne. And Lucinda's like, sorry. And she thinks, she thinks aloud, what should I turn you into this time, since you obviously haven't learned your lesson? Maybe it's time you get fucked for all eternity. And she points her finger at him. And Felicity pushes him out of the way in a heroic, like, no! And she gets struck with this spell. She gets that feeling of being pulled taut, squished together, her skin too tight. She can't move, she can't breathe. And then, pop! Felicity got turned into a cock ring.
First of all, you should have put body horror in the triggers, because
I know, right?
This is just that is peak. I'd rather be a podcast that does exclusively tentacle porn books
than
talk about
get turned into. Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know. That's
I didn't know.
No, it's okay.
I had no idea.
I will survive.
So Felicity is now a cock ring, and Richard is like on his knees, like, no. Lucinda he begs her to change her back, to take him instead, and she's like, I can't. But you can, in her very obtuse way, and then she just poofs herself away. And he's trying to figure out, what the fuck does that mean? Like, okay, so there was a way to break his curse, so there must be a way to break this one too. So the first thing he does is he sticks the cock ring in his mouth. Like, maybe it's just that simple. Put it back in your mouth again. But that's not it. Then he lubes it up. And he puts it on his dick, thinking like, okay, maybe I have to use it. Like, I have to have an orgasm using this cock ring. But he can't. He can't bring himself to use her without her full support and consent in any way, even this way. And so he's like, he's looking down at his own dick with his girlfriend.
Looking at his dick and sobbing. Been there.
I'm so sorry. I will find another way, but I can't do it. Not like this. And as soon as he says that, pop, she's back, but she's sitting on his dick now. So apparently the circle was her vaginal opening. I don't know. She's now riding him. But Felicity's back. Hooray. That's the lesson he learned, was that not to take advantage of people or objects, apparently. At least objects that you know are secretly people.
Somewhere, Lucinda's like that dude in that goddamn Liberty Mutual commercial. That bird did it.
You're just a flightless bird. No. He's a dreamer, Frank. Jesus Christ. Oh, we are insane. Anyway, so he goes to pull away and pull out of her and give her space after what she has just gone through. But she pulls him back. She's like, where are you going? No, I want to have sex right now. We just beat a witch. We just broke a curse. I want to have sex about it.
Everybody knows, beer before liquor.
Never sicker.
Never sicker. A stitch in time saves 9. Beat a witch.
Fuck a bitch.
Fuck a bitch.
So there you go. They fuck about it. They focus on the focus of this encounter is getting Felicity to make noise. That is Richard's entire goal, to vocalize what she wants without feeling embarrassed. And he eventually coaxes some desires out of her. She wants to be his dirty whore and suck his cock, no matter how bratty she might be or how much she might fight him. She wants him to take command and to be forceful. So he does just that. He gives her exactly what she wants. And then they move on to a slow, hard fuck against the wall where he coaxes her to make some more noises, to find her own pleasure, to be brazen and loud. His ultimate goal is to get a noise complaint from the neighbors, but he'll take whatever he can at this point, and he is proud that he managed to get her to say anything at all. In the afterglow, they snuggle up together, all well fucked and satisfied, and he asks if he can stay with her a little longer. Absolutely. Yes, you can. For sure. The end. That was stiff. Thank you so much.
That was easily one of the craziest.
I know.
Craziest books.
I know. It's so good. She was inspired to write it after she read Unhinged and Stuffed, which are two more of my favorite sentient object romances. That's just so good. Thea Mason, if you are a hugger, I'll give you one.
Yeah. No, the body horror, like anything about being like transformed, turned like into stone, like what in
last week should have swiped left.
Yeah, and should have swiped left, like that. The idea of just like something happening to my person that I cannot control, like stuff like that. That's just, but especially to my body. Like one of my favorite movies that I can never watch again is Annihilation because of the body horror.
Yeah. And I can't watch it at all.
Yeah, and same thing with there's a really great anime that's on Max. I can't remember the name of it. That's supposed to be really great, but it's got a lot of body horror in it. There's so many things that I would love to consume that I can't because I just can't get around that. Mm-hmm. That and trypophobia. Trypophobia,
yeah. Well, it's okay to know your limitations.
Yeah, but I wish I didn't have them because there's a lot of that stuff that's really cool that has body horror that I'm into.
Nice one.
Like what was that show on Netflix we were watching that we had to stop immediately?
Oh,
like
Daybreakers.
Daybreakers, yeah.
I think is what that one was.
We got
called.
like 8 episodes in, and then there was that one scene, and I was like, no!
Post-apocalyptic zombie teen.
Yeah, exactly.
Thing.
Yeah,
really fun. But then that woman had a back full of holes, and you just couldn't do it
anymore. No, thank you.
No good. Not what you're into.
Definitely not what I'm into. But what are you into?
I am into The Hunting Party on Peacock. It's another TV show that I've been watching. I've been watching a lot of TV.
Didn't know you. Yeah, you've never mentioned it.
I've never mentioned it before. Okay, so it's really good. It is almost done. No, it's done with its first season. There are 17 episodes. I've watched them all. It is it is my spiritual successor to Criminal Minds.
Okay.
The premise is that the government has been lying to you. Serial killers who are serial killers and methodic murderers who are put to death in our prison system are not put to death. They are then transferred to a secret underground facility where we do experiments on them.
Okay.
And then that facility explodes and there is a mass escape. And a hunting party is put together to track down escapees as well as figure out what happened inside of this facility in the first place. And I am in love with it. They just dropped a huge bomb at the end of season 1.
They blew something else up?
No, an information bomb at the end of season 1 that literally I was like, what? Like my butthole puckered up. I was like, holy shit, they got me. They got me. Wow, they never get me. They got me.
These fuckers
got me. It's a really good show. It's dark. Like I said, it's a spiritual successor to Criminal Minds, so it's one of those shows that some people can't watch them because they're a little too really scary because they're a little too authentically terrifying.
Yeah.
But I love those shows and I love this one. The end. What about you, my love? What are you into?
This week, I've had this one. Hey, look, speaking of, I've had this one on the back burner for a while because, I'm into so many things. But this week, I'm going to be talking about a book. And that book is one that I've been reading for about a month now called Fever House.
Oh, okay.
By Keith Rawson. It is... it's got so many things going on that they're all just sort of intersecting in like my vibe. It's an urban fantasy, multiple perspectives. It starts out following these two leg breakers, Hutch and Tim. They work for some local tough.
Okay.
And he's a collector of things, and they find this hand. And whenever you're in the presence of this hand, you are just filled with bloodlust and rage.
Oh, yes. You have told me about this a little bit.
And there's a shadowy government agency that's tracking this hand. It's called a remnant, but there are 2 other remnants, the eye and the voice, and they're all believed to be part of not the devil, but a devil. Mm-hmm. And if you get them all together, then it could unleash figurative or perhaps literal hell on earth. And it's well written. It's got the gritty urban stuff. It's got the supernatural elements.
It sounds like Dragon Ball meets Chainsaw Man.
A little bit. Mm-hmm. A little bit. So yeah, that's what I'm into this week. Fever House.
That sounds awesome.
It's the first book in a duology. Uh-huh. So I will eventually read the second book, but got to finish this one first.
Absolutely.
Speaking of that, what are we going to be reading next week?
Next week, I am reading The Curious Incident of the Great Cookie Snacksident of 979 by Casso Shire.
Okay.
I know.
Oh. I cannot wait based on title alone.
I know, right?
But in the meantime, you can find us on social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky. All the links are in our link tree. If you would like to communicate with us via email, please do so. cheapsmutpod@gmail.com. We are on our 96th episode, and I only just realized last week that I don't have to put a link to the book in the link tree. I mean, I will do that, but I just realized, I could just link it in the show notes. Just click on the link. However, I decide to do this going forward. Any links you see to any books that we cover on the show are never an affiliate link. We do not get any money for it. We are just trying to help the authors out. If you would like to support us financially, you can do so on Patreon for as little as $1 a month, like these fine folks have. Lindsay Rain, Eden Knox, Zach, Zoe Barrett, Emily Purley, Aaron Manak, Miss Chris, Raven, Natasha Bear, Desiree Rodriguez, Local Mind Flayer Seattle number 42, Vincent Sultanfuss, Kitsune Inc., Cassie, Cassandra, April D. Berry, Dana Goddard, Stephanie Hawkins, Gemma, Lady Squishy Buns, Tia Esk, Rob Gatika, Angela McNichols, Katie Hurd, Gwendolyn Harper, Seneca O, and Rebecca K. The music that you hear in this and every episode for now is called Nostalgia by Mackay Beats. You can find it along with thousands of other songs free of charge for you to use at the Free Music Archive, freemusicarchive.org.
Listener, remember, if there is a book in you, write it. And if there's fucking in it, I'll read it.
And then she'll come on this show and explain it to me for your entertainment.
Talk to you later. Bye.